I've been saying for a while that net neutrality, or so-called open internet versus closed internet issues, are absolutely paramount to so much of what is going to happen in the political system going forward. The internet has been one of the biggest equalizers when it comes to the dissemination of information and alternative views. And much of the discussion around net neutrality relates to whether or not internet service providers should be considered so-called common carriers, similar to telephone companies, and therefore are open to be regulated in the same way. Of course, the internet service providers themselves argue that they should not be classified as common carriers. Mozilla thinks that it may have found a way to ensure network neutrality without a requirement to go back and reclassify broadband carriers as common carriers. Mozilla filed a petition with the FCC this week, which asked the FCC to recognize that in addition to the relationship that exists between the internet service provider and the end user, you sitting at home watching Netflix or whatever the case may be, that's one relationship that is being discussed quite a bit when it comes to issues of net neutrality. That there's a separate relationship between the internet service provider and that entity that is providing or hosting the data, video, or information, and that relationship can actually be regulated under the 1996 Telecommunications Act. Instead of saying that the internet service provider simply has a duty to deliver all packets of data over its pipes, for lack of a better term, to the consumer without discrimination, Mozilla is saying that there's another legal obligation, which is that the ISP owes to content providers to deliver their packets in a neutral manner. This may seem like a small nuance or detail, Lewis, but this is huge because it would actually allow the FCC to do whatever it wants on the consumer side, which of course we're still concerned with, but without ISPs as common carriers, based on the 1996 Telecommunications Act, would have to treat the provider data without discrimination. Lewis, am I doing a clear enough job of explaining what this fundamental difference is here? Do you get what I'm saying?
I do. I think it makes sense, and I think this is massively important. If it's a shame that it needs to come down to these tiny legal details, but this is very, very important. I hope this goes through because I think we're a long way away from actually labeling these ISPs as what were they called? As
common carriers. Yeah, you're right.
Common
That's
carriers,
a big
right.
uphill battle. To put it another way, the distinction that Mozilla is making is that instead of only having a duty to the end user, be it a residential user, a business user, whatever, once a content provider's traffic hits the ISP's network, the ISP has a duty to deliver the content provider's traffic in a neutral manner. I think that this is an absolutely great point here. This would, of course, if it is determined to be actionable by the FCC and by the judiciary, there are going to be there's going to be a deluge of lawsuits over this. Of course, ISPs, which presumably exist to allow the transfer of data. Oh, wait, no, actually, they exist just as profit centers. We should have learned that by now. They're going to sue, and this could lead to a decade-long legal battle. But at least Mozilla is thinking proactively here about what is already in the law that might further reinforce a free and open internet, which I think is important, Lewis, because as you said, to create new law around this, the laws have lagged behind when it comes to internet usage for so long. And if we can find an existing legal basis to protect an open internet, we can't even measure the positive effect of that. I mean, it's just huge.
It might be one of the most important things facing this country. The little people aren't going to win this one, David. It takes a big corporation to beat another big corporation. We need the Mozillas, the Googles, and the Apples behind us on this one to win this battle.
Probably worth mentioning, just for context, Lewis, that Tom Wheeler is the former head of the cable lobby. A cable lobbyist is now running the FCC. Money in politics. Never forget that that's always there. This program is supported directly by you. Please go to davidpakman.com/membership to become a supporter today and get a whole bunch of great member benefits while doing it.